But when we get back, Manny Acta, boy, he had to work hard to keep that smile all season long. We'll talk about the Nats when we get back with MissChatter on Washington Post Live. Welcome back. These statistics shouldn't really shock you. These are the Nationals' averages amongst their competitors in Major League Baseball. 27th in average, 27th. They're like 27, 28, 29, everything. Except the ERA, not so bad. 24th overall this season. You know what? The funny thing is when you break it down by statistical categories, the Nationals actually weren't the worst team in the majors at any one thing.
I was going to say, those numbers were a lot better than their overall record.
That's it, right, except for the only thing that really matters. Wins and losses, maybe a product of the sum being actually less than the value of their parts put together, something like that.
Ranked very high in the blogosphere.
Yes, they are. Because Kathy Taylor, you might know her as MissChatter. You can check her out at MissChatter.com. Is a Nats blogger, an online reporter, if you will. And the thing that strikes me about this, about your blog in particular, is that it's straight up Nats reporting. It's like you're going right at Chico Harlan into his wheelhouse and taking him on.
You're in his kitchen.
How are you viewed, though, when you go out there? I mean, because there's a stigma if you're going out to cover the team straight up as a blogger, is there not?
There was a stigma in the beginning, but it was more kind of self-induced on my part because I thought, I'm a blogger, nobody's going to talk to me. But the Nationals actually were very welcoming. They came to me and said, you know, do you want to be put on our press release list? And, you know, they invited me to off-field events, not necessarily on the field.
You know what's interesting, and let me ask the two of you, because you guys are veterans of the blogging game, if you will. Is there a considerable amount of self-loathing going on amongst the blogosphere?
Self-loathing? I was going to say, you know, careful, because you're outnumbered 3-1.
That's true.
Three-fourths this roundtable is, you know, part of the bloggerati.
That's true, and my bosses would love me to join you, but I know I can't compete.
And I would say the exact opposite as for your actual question. I think that bloggers tend to celebrate themselves over, as far as I'm concerned, they kind of over-celebrate themselves and their role in the universe.
But those are the ones that don't go out there, right?
Yeah.
Because when it's different. It's different sitting behind a computer and writing whatever you want, whether it's funny or good, than it is to actually go out there and look at people face to face.
Absolutely. Like, I see Manny Acta, he says, hey, MissChatter, whenever he sees me. I see the PR people, I see the journalists. So you don't really want to make any of them mad because it can make your life miserable too.
Hey, well, miserable was sort of the key word for the Nats this whole season. And the thing is, how do you, Manny Acta stayed remarkably positive for the most part.
He did.
How?
He reads positive affirmation books, and I think he just mentally...
Does he really?
Yes, he does.
Oh, see? This is the kind of stuff that Chico doesn't give you. Step up your game, Chico Harlan.
Tomorrow in the Washington Post, Chico's going to report he's got a bottle of scotch in his office. That's how he keeps his nerves.
Chico's a rookie. We got to give him a pass.
No, Chico's actually very good, to tell you the truth.
How do you keep that smile on your face? I mean, the season was so bad, they made the Orioles look good.
It's hard because I try to remain positive, and I have to say there was not a lot to write about this year that was positive. We got to see a few young players, which was nice, especially once they got rid of Paul Lo Duca and Johnny Estrada.
Yes, very nice.
But, yeah, nobody expected that record this year, so it was easy to look at the player development and look at their draft last year, but then they had this horrendous record this year. They did not sign their top draft pick, and so it's hard to stay positive because you got to remember the plan. And
I've got a question. You know, obviously there's a lot of reporting this year on the very low television ratings, the very low radio ratings, the kind of low attendance. And I don't want you to reveal your numbers or anything, but do you think
what were your numbers like?
Do you think interest in the kind of Nats blogosphere, the Natosphere, as everyone calls it, has it gone down? Is it not as enthusiastic as it was when they first got here?
I think it has gone down. We had one blogger who was very highly ranked up and quit this year.
Capital Punishment?
Yes.
Committed blogging suicide.
Love that site. Yeah.
Blogicide. He did it very gracefully, though. My numbers went down a little this year, not much, and you'd think up until that point last year they had been increasing every year, so it was kind of disheartening to see them go down. The number of comments has gone down, but it wasn't that much lower than it had been
other than the fact that you've been embraced by the team and welcomed by the organization as a blogger, what are the other positive things about this team to look, things to look forward to?
Well, we get the #1 draft pick next year.
Maybe they can sign him.
Maybe they can sign him. Everybody's touting Steven Strasburg, who is a Boris client, so.
But you mentioned the plan, and this season was kind of a staging ground for a lot.
I also noticed you said we, and let's be honest, we in the media sort of refuse to say we. But Is that how you go? Is we the now? You know? Do you look at the Nationals as part of you?
You know, it's funny because when I was coming in here, I thought I'm not going to say we. I'm not going to say we.
No, but tell us about how you really feel. It slipped out. These lights reveal all.
It's my team. I feel very attached to them.
Sure.
Unless they fire Maniacta, then it's not a we.
I don't see any reason why she shouldn't, really. And I think you would probably do something like that.
I do the same thing. I mean, admittedly, we're fans. I think a lot of fans do that with their teams.
No, it's totally allowable on the blogosphere, I think. I'm just saying the difference between the mainstream. And you straddle that line because you're a reporter who also blogs about the same team at the same time. You mentioned Maniacta. He is the best thing going for this team, right?
Absolutely.
And we saw him out there yesterday. He's reading to kids. He's a celebrity already in D.C. Doing that. You guys see that at Nationals Park? Did you hear about it? I mean, all around the country, they're doing this. They're all reading the same book, Corduroy, the children's book. You're going to be reading it soon with that new daughter of yours.
It's only 7 weeks.
Yeah, but no, soon enough, you'll be reading Corduroy. Even if she doesn't understand, it'll be helping put her to sleep.
Crowd there that looked like the season finale.
No, that's bad.
That was the most depressing thing
You're talking about
I've ever
preschools, like more than 50 of them from D.C. and Prince George's County. But Manny has made himself into he's really the face of this team, is he not?
He is, absolutely.
Well, I mean, they fired the entire staff. So why is his job so secure? What's he done so well?
Well, I'm not sure his job is entirely secure. They have not picked up his option for 2010 yet. Maybe they will later in the offseason or sometime next season, and he can paint the walls in his house or something, feel a little more secure.
So let me ask you, as a blogger in
This is
DC,
the last question, by the way.
Last question. As a blogger in D.C., I feel very privileged to have people like Chris Cooley and Gilbert Arenas and Clinton Portis, who are just very, very outsized personalities. And I've always thought that the Nats kind of lack that to a certain degree.
Have you not seen Ryan Zimmerman's blog on Comcast Sportsnet.tv?
So I'm curious, are there players that you're drawn to as kind of those big personalities, bloggable personalities in that clubhouse?
I think Lastings Millich has the potential to be a bloggable personality. Dimitri Young certainly does, except that he wasn't here much.
Diabetes, yeah, single tier. But yeah, El Mills was a rapper. Yeah, that's good blog fodder.
Are you ripping his diabetes single tier?
No, it's sad. I'm serious. It's a sad issue.
We got to wrap this up because we're running out of time. But Kathy, MissChatter, thank you so much. A pleasure having you on. And good luck to the Nats so you can be smiling next year as well. Time to go to break here on Washington Post Live. When we get back, the man responsible for the Cavs draft for the last decade will join us live when we come back on Washington Post Live.